Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike is here, and it is day 61 of Award Season Review Season 3. 97 reviews coming at you in 97 days, covering many of the films up for awards recognition this season. Now, as some of the films I am talking about may still be in theaters or be awaiting a theatrical re-release, all of the information I am providing to you is current within 7 days of recording. This includes box office information, critical responses, predictions, nominations, wins, and as always, these reviews are spoiler free. Also, make sure you check out my website, cinephilemike.com, where you can find the Where Can I Watch It 2024 spreadsheet, where you can track the nominations for all the films I'm talking about here, so many others, as well as see how to watch them. So, we are moving through our ninth theme week, and it is all about the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, also known as the BAFTAs, the UK's answers to the Oscars, and all the films that I am talking about this week are nominated for at least one BAFTA and possibly more. Today, I am looking at Amazon MGM Studios' recent biopic, Unstoppable. Written by Eric Chamnella, Alex Harris, and John Heineman, and based on the memoir by Anthony Robles and Austin Murphy, the film was directed by William Goldenberg. Now, while the film did have a limited release in December, domestically, that run was so quick that the film posts no box office information. So it was probably just that limited theatrical run for award season contention. So for my box office pundits, I'm sorry. I have no information to share with you about this one. However, the film does have critical response on both sides. The film is certified fresh with a 75% critical rating from 89 reviews and a 91% popcorn meter coming from over 100 audience reviews. Award season wise, the film is directly and quasi indirectly nominated for one BAFTA award. Why do I say sort of indirectly? Well, the nomination is for the film's lead, Jarrell Jerome. Jerome is nominated for the Rising Star Award at the BAFTAs, and this is the award that is voted on by the general public, not the Academy, that recognizes new talent in the acting industry. In 2024, Jerome was selected based on this role and possibly some overflow and love for his voice performance, as he was one of the Spider-Man in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. In addition to the few nods and wins that Unstoppable had at festivals and critic circles, Jerome won the Breakthrough Actor for Film in Black Cinema and Television at the Critics' Choice Awards celebration of cinema and television. Unstoppable. What's it about? Well, it's the inspiring story of wrestler Anthony Robles, played by Jerome. Robles, from a condition at birth, was born with only one leg. Now, while the film does not focus on the childhood and doesn't even reference why he was born without a leg, we are going to jump right into Robles winning a big match that names him the Arizona State champion in wrestling in high school as he's graduating his senior year. So we're jumping in right when he has this critical match. And he is hoping to get recruited and go to Iowa because that is where all the Division One champion wrestlers go, but he's not recruited by them. However, he is offered a full ride to Drexel University in Pennsylvania. Not as inspiring to him because Drexel hasn't produced the same level of wrestler. He thinks about it, but he also considers ASU, Arizona State University, because they also have a large number of competent wrestlers. So he actually is able to go meet with ASU wrestling coach Sean Charles, played by Don Cheadle. He meets with Robles but explains that the schools that wanted their wrestlers have already recruited them at this point, and they're not as interested in Robles at ASU. He explains the best he could offer him would be a walk-on spot, which means he doesn't have to try out to be in like the first round of cuts, but he is going to have to prove that he can be a member of the team, and also he's not getting a full ride to ASU. But then, however, when he maybe considers Drexel, there's an incident that happens between his mother, Judy, played by Jennifer Lopez, and his stepfather, Rich, played by Bobby Cannavale. And Rich just abandons his family, leaving Judy to care for Anthony's four younger siblings. So as a result, Anthony decides to go to ASU to stay closer to home and fight to maintain his place on the ASU team and, find a way to help support his family as well as pay for school. And this will not be without its challenges. As Anthony goes on to forge his way, he will face multiple challenges to get where he needs to be, and while support is earned in some places, others it's not. And unfortunately, problems at home will cause some conflict and challenge him to overcome as he strives to be the best that he can be and ultimately accomplish his goal, which is to defeat another wrestler who is at the top of the heap in Robles' weight class. Ironically, a student from Iowa, his dream school. This wrestler being Matt McDonough in the film played by Johnny DeJulius. The film will chronicle those college years and follow Anthony on his ups and downs. So, if you follow college wrestling, you probably know where this story goes. It's relatively recent. Even if you aren't a wrestling fan, you can probably figure out how this film is going to go. Look, I don't want to take away from this film. We have seen the inspirational athlete films before, and Unstoppable is not the only one we had this season. Yeah, I'm looking at you, the fire inside, about Olympic boxer Clarissa Shields. My feelings on this film are a little conflicted because there are some things that many biopics do, traps that biopics fall into that make me want to pull my hair out. And they avoided it with this, which made me really happy. We do not get into these long, drawn out sequences about how hard Robles' life was when he was younger and see, him from child to adulthood. There's not even really recalling anyone who like makes a comment about the leg as an issue. He's just, seen as a wrestler, and we also don't have to see these long, you know, sequences, these montages of training to get to be the fight better than anyone. He trains with his team, he moves on. What this film does really smartly, which I appreciated, is that it focuses on him being a member of the team, and accomplishing what he does as he spends his years at the college. We also don't get these awkward instances, with multiple issues that he has to address. The way we find out about that, because it's not just about the wrestling, the film gives us a few information dumps in the dialogue that help move the action along, which is good. And visually, I will say, cinematographer, and again, I'll get to it. Salvatore Totino gets some really wonderful footage of the wrestling matches, really making you feel like you are right there in on the action. So that's what the film does well. On the other side, there are some things that, for me, the film just gets wrong. And one, sadly, the weakest part of this is the writing. I mean, you could almost play like a drinking game of your choice every time you hear someone spout a cliche line about motivation or striving to do the best, be the best, or yes, you gotta love when you throw the title in there. At one point, J Lo, as his mom says, "You are unstoppable." I mean, filling the script with these dialogue points is unfortunate, and there's a few too many of them. So what could be clip scenes, sometimes when we're not at the wrestling matches, gets a little drawn by cliche. We've heard this 100 times. So we could have weeded some of them out. And also, and here's visual. It's interesting. Totino, while he did an incredible job shooting those wrestling scenes, when we're getting some of the other scenes, while yes, Robles did have kind of a dark home life and family life, but sometimes the way those scenes are shot, it's a little too dark that you can't even follow what's going on in the realm of what we're watching. So it was almost like there were two cinematographers working on two different facets of the film. Looking at the performances, acting wise, Lopez does a fair job as Judy, even if I kind of felt she was a little miscast. And, Cannavale is very good at playing like really likable characters that you love and also unlikable characters that you can't wait to see their downfall. He can really play both sides nicely. In this film, he plays a little more the latter, not the former. Cheadle does fine, even if he is one of the characters who mostly gets straddled with the motivational talk topics, as does Michael Pena as his high school wrestling coach. So there's that. Jerome, let me talk about Jerome. He is the nominee, the reason this film landed on the season. He's very good and gives a real nice presence to Anthony. You can see the training and the work that he put into this. I agree with that EE Rising Star nod. And you know what? I'm surprised that this film didn't get more recognition and push, especially for his performance, by Amazon MGM Studios. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So that's my thoughts on the film. Now, here's a part where I talk about if this film has Oscar Oscar chances, right? That's what we've been doing for the last 60 odd days. But the Oscar nominations came out yesterday, so I don't have to give my theories of, where's it going to go? This film has no Oscar nominations. There are no chances. It seems that Amazon MGM steered to put their focus on two other films, mainly Nickel Boys, which earned two nods for Best Picture and Adapted Screenplay, and the snub. I'm going to get into my snubs in a different video, but they also produced Challengers, and Challengers was completely shut out of everything. But it's unfortunate because I do want to say Jerome's performance here is very strong, and given that he's carrying the film, it does make the film watchable. So, in all, due to this mixed bag, Unstoppable is a good 3-star film for me. An inspirational tale of an athlete who doesn't let circumstance define them, and solidified by decent performances. And, I wish there'd been a little less schmaltzy dialogue, if I'm being honest. Sorry, not so hard. If you would like to see Unstoppable, it is currently streaming exclusively on Prime. So, there you have it. 61 down, 36 to go. As always, if you like what you heard here, please click the subscribe button, like the video, and spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. And again, find lots of great information at my website, cinephilemike.com. All right, everyone, see you tomorrow as we continue this journey. But until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.